Namaste everyone. Namaskar. Namaste.
Nityoham Niravadyoham Nirakarohamachyuta Paramanandarupoham Ahameva Ahamavyaya. I am eternal. I am free from any blemish. I am formless and I am indestructible. I am of the nature of supreme Ananda. I am the very self and I am changeless.
Anyone has any questions or anything to say about this statement? The one who has taken the path of God realization cannot talk about anything, about business, how to gain more money. Cannot talk about anything. There are two things. One is our desires, unending desires. And everyone can look within. Do I have desires? If answer says yes, that means we are even not on path of seeking. If we are full of desires, that means you have not yet started the journey. What about complaining that I have not realized self? Then the second group of seekers are the ones who are actually very, very serious and they are on this path. And but they are bound by their job, their family, their responsibilities, and things which they have no interest, but because of their prarabdha karma or their previous interest, they are in that responsibility, and they sometimes think of just getting rid of everything and just moving away from everything. And they are not interested in all those types of people around them, but they had these friends for a while and they are still around, so they still have to attend those social gatherings and things, but they have no interest. They have no interest in any object. Their object and their desire is only God realization. They are so mad about it. So what happens is that a real seeker who has taken this path of God realization, some activities are going on which was nothing to do with God realization. Let's say about money. Let's say about getting something out of gains, personal gains. Somehow all that energy from that makes it to work for God realization. You just surrender all this. If it comes, either I will divert this money or this thing into that, or I am not interested in getting anything out of it. Like disinterested action. If it happens, something happens. So the fruits of action are of zero concern, but the activities are already, started. If a builder is building a house and active work is going on and there are workers, it just continues, but there is no interest in the fruit, good or bad. And all the time the attention is on the divine within. And every action of the body is seen as just happening. by nature, by prakriti, or you can see by the force of that absolute, the body is moving, it is seen as witnessed. And this is also release from the bondage of body-mind complex. This is what the jnani sees, the body is moving, I have no interest, but still things are happening with previous momentum or prarabdha, and some unseen force is taking care of everything. And that gives sense of so much of peace, because in spite of no intention in it, and all energy going into the hridayam, to the beloved, that God sitting there, just all energy is attending to that. But the work continues or not continues, and you find that this gap comes, huge gap between doership and witnessing. And so much of peace dawns on us. At the same time, one is a devotee, a bhakt, who prays to Lord, look, I don't know any self-inquiry, no method. You just sort this out for me. I surrender everything at your feet and just do. Then what happens? All the actions done are done from that bhav, that intention, that this all is to God. Now, once you give all your actions to God, you cannot do anything wrong. How can you do the bad stuff and give it to God? Nobody can do it. Even the bad person can't do it. Even the bad activities we hide from our family, from kids, we make it very private, so personal that only we know it. And then when you surrender all your actions to God, our activities become divine, or we lose interest in those activities. Now comes the secret of this whole thing of spirituality. When you are really interested in that God realization or longing for God, because that is such a pure energy, it does a miracle within you. It takes away your greed, anger, fear, jealousy, negative tendencies, and it makes you into that blissful state, because that energy is capable of doing anything to anyone. When you look for that energy is so pure and it is so powerful. It is absolute, it is everything. Then for it to wash your sins or to make your mind pure is nothing. It is infinite power. And one single soul, jivas, some bad stuff, do you think it cannot sort out? It is nothing for it. And so Krishna keeps saying in Bhagavad Gita that you focus on me. That means you're longing for me, and I will take care of everything. But ego says, no, I can't trust you. I have made all this money by cheating people. I'm such a selfish and greedy man. I have made this big empire. Bloody, how can I give it to Krishna, you, to sort out? I can't trust you. I have a doubt. So I will still believe in you and I will pray to you, but I'll still, take care. I am a very shrewd man. And so this shrewd man, because of shrewdness, because of smartness, he never detaches himself from ego, mind, body complex. And he continues in this journey in spite of knowing the truth, because it has more confidence in ego than God. It cannot surrender. So here is the problem, if you understand. If you want to sort out this problem, only you can sort out. If you don't want to sort out this problem and you're happy the way you live, you can continue. Nobody is going to challenge you. Only in a satsang it can be challenged, nowhere else. You walk freely with your mind, in bondage of mind, which you call as freely. Or you surrender and get rid of all this bondage. Get into that purest of pure. But then there is no individuality left. A lot of people love their individuality. All the clutter we have collected, we love it. And we keep collecting it. That's why the desires are what desires? Desires are only gathering objects. You gather, and one day the journey finishes. And the one who is full of greed, his journey finishes and he doesn't know that it is finishing right now. Because he is not connected with his antaratma, with his self. While the one established in self, or one closer it, knows even months before, even a couple of weeks before, that this is the end of the body coming. They are so alert about it. See, so many Bhagavan's devotees, they knew that death is now. After 3 days, after 3 weeks, after 3 months, they were prepared and they all went in full senses, knowing that it is there, and they dropped the body, some of them in front of Bhagavan's Samadhi, someone in front of Bhagavan's picture, some doing japa. So this is the power of purity in you, which keeps you so alert in that energy that you watch when the death comes, you welcome it and you know it. So it's not nothing, you are not living in ignorance anymore. You are the screen and you know you are in the backstage, you know everything. Because where from death will come? You tell me, from where death will come? It will come from that absolute only. If you are that absolute, how anything can be hidden from you? You become Sarvjnani, you know everything. You know in, you know out. You are in everything. How anything can be hidden from you? You have to give up ego in one body, and exactly at the same time, you start manifesting in every body. Look what this miracle is. Tell me, is it gain or loss? Now, how can you die if you are in everyone? You are in everyone, you are in everything. You are everywhere. Everything is your own projection. And people keep this ego which smells, nobody likes. You don't like, people don't like. Why to preserve it? It smells. You give it up and you become everything. Whoever is your teacher, or you are a devotee or a student, or you believe in any type of energy, Remember, all that sacred is you only, within you, that pure. Keep your attention there, not in thoughts, not in desires, because desires are only thoughts. Attachments are emotions with thoughts. All these thoughts have no value except keeping you in bondage. I was having a satsang this morning with someone, and that person told me something, that I believe whatever you have said, but I also believe that God has put me in this body and sent me to this earth. He has dumped me. No, so it is not my responsibility to get out of it. It is His responsibility to get me out. People have weird thoughts, I said, how do you think that God has dumped you? You are full of desires. He said, no, one day, first time He has dumped me. Now, I am upset with God. He has to pick me up. I'm not doing anything. I said, yeah, that is good. You are not doing anything. If that is true, He will pick you up. But you are doing all the stupid things. You are running for so many things, full of desires. If you decide you are not doing anything for enlightenment and also to get trapped, you just stay as a witness to anything happening, then I'm sure He will pick you up. But this is only your ahankar, your ego, that God will come and He will pick me. I don't care. Then who are you? We have created so many concepts in our mind. Sometimes I see people on a wrong path and you tell them it is not right. And they say, oh, this is my intuitive godly voice which is telling me. Thoughts can play so much of. Sometimes these thoughts you think they are godly thoughts. Then only a psychiatrist can treat you. All these people who are having hallucinations, all these thoughts, they think God's thoughts. God only talks in silence. Mauna is God. But when we have full of desires, we just say, oh, it's a divine thought, or God wants me to do this, that's why it is happening. And then you get a kick or a slap, and then you say, oh yeah, I misunderstood, it was nothing to do with God. Because we are living with these thoughts all the time. And we only know how to obey or disobey these thoughts only. So we keep selecting. In this garbage, we keep checking. And whatever our intellect says, we pick it up. And if intellect says, this is divine, pick it up, you pick it up. While I'll tell you that has nothing to do with intellect or mind or ego or thoughts. Nothing to do with these things. Intellect is useless. That is why it is most difficult for intellectuals to have God realization. And the simple old poor villager can easily get it. It is not a matter of intellect at all. It is not a matter of knowing your Sanskrit or being a Pandit. Just paying attention to whatever is happening uninvolved, surrendering to that power within us, and then see the magic of that power. It is that infinite which not just blesses you, through you it blesses millions. The biggest help we can do to humanity is our own self-realization. Knowing the God in our heart. If you don't like the term God, call it self, Atman, Brahman, doesn't matter, awareness. But because for most of us, God is the most sacred. So this is the most sacred. Nothing beyond it. Then what Nilakantanji was saying, that Anandam, that Anand, that bliss. The biggest quality of this bliss is contentment, santosha. Now, santosha in, I know Tamil, I think it becomes a little bit different, maybe happy also, which is also okay. In Hindi, it means contentment, that's santosh. In Patanjali Yoga Sutras also, santosha is very, very important. If you gain santosha, you are self-realized. Because if you have 100% contentment, then you will be desireless. Your egoistic journey has come to end if you are contented. Both positive and negative, because positive, you're not looking for more things. Negative, whatever you think is negative, you are okay with, you are in total acceptance, you don't want any change, then you become choiceless. And choiceless is only that absolute, not looking to any change. So this egoistic jiva, when it meets that choiceless, becoming choiceless by surrendering its own power, limited power of desires, then what happens? He become that, because that is always the same, unchanging. And then this jiva, when decides to be unchanging, then our life is in harmony. Then it is exactly the way that Absolute wants. Then there is no resistance, no anxiety for anything. Then you become fire, this vibrating fire within you. Unending, it is always there, always same. Sometimes it manifests more when it wants to, I don't know. When there is a satsang, it manifests more. Sometimes it keeps quiet when there is no energy around which wants it. As Krishna says that it is the most kept secret. Don't tell to anyone who is not interested. So it speaks only when someone is interested. If someone is not interested, it does not open mouth. Because how do you convey? You convey by saying something or speaking out. It does not come out if a person is not interested. How to unfold in all of us is by just being interested in it, that's all. So many people, they are deceiving themselves on path of spirituality, and I know them one-to-one, talking to them. One day they are interested in spirituality, the other day they are interested in money, another day they are interested in new love affair. Oh my God, life is mess, and they say this was a God wants me to do this, Thoughts can play havoc on you. If we start becoming devotee of the silence within, the right knowledge manifests in us, right path, right direction, everything comes. I will give you an example. Let's say someone has done something bad to you or said some bad words to you. If you just witness, though it would be hard, it is hard, but let's say that is what we are seekers. We have to be humble in humility. You stay there. You know, just witnessing it and not making it an issue and not moving into the ego mode. When that whole through process, you just stay in that calmness and you go to the other side. How much peace you feel. I'm sure most of us have tried that at least sometime. It is very peaceful. And then that energy blesses you with some gift. I can't tell you exactly what, but if you go through it, you will be blessed. Not because it wants to, because it's all test in a way. It is you passed a test, you will be blessed. That person who insulted might come and say sorry, or something might happen that much more profound. Or you feel so deep inner peace. Your heart melts away. Something beautiful happens. But problem is that ego doesn't listen. It takes up the action before, it doesn't know how to wait. This patience in us comes from that energy. That energy teaches us everything. Surrender it to it completely. Complete surrender. When you live in this energy, and if someone insults you, and if you want to retort and say something, and let's say you say because of your habit, you feel more bad because this energy doesn't want to hurt anyone. Not even to this body also. It's not that this body needs to be punished. No, nothing like that. It cannot differentiate this body or other body or anything. It is so humble that it just wants everyone, everything should be happy, in peace, in harmony. There should not be any conflict. But then someone can come with an egoistic attitude even to insult this energy, because people are full of mind, their own conditioning. But those are also blessed in a way. Be the devotee of this pure energy in you. Don't die without unpacking it. Unpack it. Living life as ego is like living only superficially as a wave, not diving deep into the hridayam heart, knowing what is going with us all the time. That Ishvara, that Brahman is there. And that Brahman is not separate from us. We are that. But we are living in the reflection of mind. This is the biggest illusion everyone in this world is living. Who can make us free? Only that Brahman, that self, can make us free. How? You just be interested in that. We are interested in so many things. Someone is writing about music. Why you want to pick up something just a indirect path and comparing someone else? I don't know about all these people, whether they were God loving, God realized. Just work on you. Why to keep thinking about so many things? Here is that. It is in everyone. Some people sing music for their own name and fame. It has nothing to do with God. You can say they are gifted. We are all gifted in some way or the other. Some people have good voice. If you are using to earn money and business, nothing to do with God. But the moment you have God realization and you start singing, that is something different, something divine, even if you don't have a voice. You know, in India there was Tansen was one of the very learned musician in Mughal Emperor Akbar's palace, and he was really good. And one day Akbar asked that, Tansen, you are so good, who is your guru? And he said, Haridas is my guru. And he said, can I meet your guru? He said, no, he doesn't meet anyone. He said, can you bring him to palace? I'll give him a lot of money and he can sing for us. He said, no, he never sings for anyone. He said, but I want to listen to him. He said, I don't think you can listen to him. He sings when he wants to sing. He said, when does he sing? He said, sometimes he sings early morning. He wakes up early morning and he does some bhajans, So if you have to sing, you have to listen, maybe we can just go and stand outside his hut. He woke up morning, Haridas, he went, and then whenever he has to do the bhajan, they were waiting, and then he started singing. And Akbar was surprised. And Akbar said, Tansen, you are nothing in front of him. What is the difference? He's your guru. Looks like he's divine. He's out of this world. He said the biggest difference is I sing for money and he sings for God. Bhagavan says the exact same thing. There was one person asked Bhagavan that I do singing. The singing is given by God, and hopefully this should make me God realization. Bhagavan said no. God realization, and after God realization you feel love for God in form of bhajans. That's something different. But singing has nothing to do with God realization. Because I'm saying this, a lot of people feel like that we'll just sing and yeah, you're singing for the love of God like a bhajan. That's okay, that's good. But singing per se is nothing to do with God realization. There are so many singers who are full of ego. So many singers who do wrong things. That doesn't mean anything with God realization. Know the God. And then if you want to sing, sing. If you want to dance, you dance. Or if you want to sit quietly, you sit quietly. I don't know how it happens. Different things happen to different people. But be mad for him. People can go to Tirunamalai and do all sorts of rubbish things and come back. Going somewhere doesn't mean anything. Even Ramana Ashram, I don't remember which one said, one of the Bhagavan's devotees, that a lot of people are like, on the udder of a cow, some insects just biting, not in sucking the milk. They lose their focus, what the focus is. That is why Bhagavan was very, very particular about people, that they should be just focused on the inquiry within. Whether they do Ramanashram work or not doesn't matter, but they should just focus here. Life is too short to be wasted. Keep remembering the God divine all the time. I heard about a saint who said this, that if you are remembering God all the time, whatever way your ways, and you lose remembrance of God even for a second, you should feel hurt as much as if your young married son has just died. So what he was trying to compare was that you should feel so much of grief if you are missing even a second not remembering the God. Awareness of that self is effortless. But before it becomes effortless, you have to put your 100% efforts to be there. And that is what all these saints talk about, to pay attention there in your heart for that. And it reflects, it shows all the time when you meet people. Are you talking about, mortgage, house prices, buying new car, this clothes, that designer, this, that, my kids, my family, my job, or you can't say anything because you were completely absorbed in your heart. Egoistic functioning drops. Egoistic functioning cannot happen. Bhagwan was a student. He was not working. He was a student when it all happened. He opened book and he just opened, and his brother said, better you leave. Why to do like this, just opening a book and sitting there. Very simple thing. If you think that is the most important, then all your interest will just go away. It is so easy. Nobody has to tell you this. Your talks, your language, your friends, everything will change. You will be out of this rat race. You will be dead for everyone. A dead person walking. Dead person working, doing. Remember, Bhagavan always used to say disinterested action, disinterested. That means no passion, no energy, no desire, no attachment to anything happening all the time in your Atman, established, all your attention here. This whole is game of attention only. To let this energy manifest, you have to attend to it. If you are interested in it, it is interested in you. If you are interested in objects of desires, then it gives you energy to do that. It has infinite compassion to all beings, to devotees, to atheists, to everyone. It gives everything to everyone. But then it is a package. It gives you, but whatever comes with it will come with it. One good thing happens when we stay in this energy, that whatever actions and whatever the result of those actions, you stay unaffected with a simple reason. You have not put any intention in anything. So, whatever result comes, how would it affect you if you have never put any intention, good or bad? All your energy is here. All our energy, which we feel tired, and people say, oh, it was a busy day, all is this because of constantly living in your mind and your thoughts. If you leave that aside and you stay in this energy, you are beaming with energy. You have not spent any energy. I don't know whether we can look with calories expenditure in a person by any instrument. Perhaps we can, but there's no mental fatigue because you have not used mental faculties. Mental faculties are at rest. You have put on them in deep sleep. You know, sometimes on your phone it says that these apps are using a lot of energy. Do you want to put them on deep sleep? You tick yes, and then it disappears, and then you don't see any notifications from those apps. So, one of the apps we are carrying all the time called mind, you put into deep sleep mode, stay as a witness to everything. Now, this takes away a lot of energy. Now, you eat less, you sleep less, and you're full of energy, you're beaming with energy. Bhagwan never used to sleep. I don't know, but that's what some people says. Or he was always sort of awake. He used to keep talking to people, at night. Only his younger brother Chinna Swami used to come and watch from the window what they are doing. So when Bhagwan saw that he's coming, he will just say, everyone, just keep quiet. And he will come and everyone is just sleeping. And when he leaves, then everyone starts talking. He was like a child, because he was he was not using any mind energy to anything. He is just playful life. No judgment, no liking, no disliking, no, not analyzing anything. He used to get up at 3 a.m. and I think they used to do parayana in the morning and all. What energy you need? Put your mind on deep sleep. In some meditation rooms, they write this message, keep your shoes, mind and ego out of the room. If they are out of the room, then it's all done already, And there's no need to enter the meditation room. Less we interact with people, less you have to use mind also. Otherwise, interaction with people is never in silence. Do you meet people or for a cup of coffee, you meet, say hello, hug, and then have a coffee and then smile and then go? No, we do gossip after gossip. We just vomit out everything and they vomit out on you. No respect of friends. Whatever is going on, we just put all garbage to other person, and that's why we call them friends, because they are happy to accept all the garbage. And they are also trying to put their garbage. So everyone is doing, nobody is listening, everyone is just throwing out. The one who listens to us is within us, all of us. It has that compassion and that patience. You be there. It is like an incinerator. It will burn away all these garbage like talks. It will just finish it. It is the best sakha, best friend, best companion. It's always with us. This Krishna in our heart who speaks in Bhagavad Gita, he speaks from here only. Even these Pandavas, they lived with him, they played with him, they were family, they were everything. They never realized him. When towards the end, when Mahabharata is starting and then Arjuna is giving up, he's not going to fight. Such a big warrior, he's giving it up. But then he tells the real thing. Do you think before that Krishna had no energy, no power, no intellect, no wisdom? He was that Krishna. Same Krishna is in all of us, always there to tell you the truth. But we are busy in so many things. It's hard to find any other book which has all sorts of methods to reach that truth. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you do this and you will give me. If you can't do this, then do this and you will get me. If you even can't do this and you will get me. If you can't do any of this, just do this and you will get me. He says, look, do something. So many methods, so many ways. I always think Bhagavad Gita is an encyclopedia. Someone who is coming on path of his spirituality should read first Bhagavad Gita and try to find out what suits them and then pick up that method and just finish it off. Bhagwan didn't use any method. And so he found that this direct path of just recognizing the self and just be that. Start where you have to end. Actually, I call it self-attention. You know this is self and you know what is ego. You know the difference between the two. You just be that. So you start where you have to end. So, okay, I know I am that I am. So I am. Now what? Nothing. Now what? Life continues. Now what next? Whatever comes. And you accept yourself as it is. So no God realization, self-realization. You are that. Now what? Then something will come in form of a thought or something dragging you. You just be witness. If you get dragged, then ask this question, who am I? Don't be like a parrot, keep asking, who am I, who am I? Don't make it a mantra. No, no. It is inquiry, Atma Vichara. Use it when you need it. And as soon as these thoughts try to drag, then ask, what is this? I am this. I am just. I am. No need for thoughts. For Brahman, no thought comes. No thought comes to Brahman for any reason. If you have accepted whatever it is, then what thought has to do? Thought is always about some deficiency or some uneasiness or some restlessness. If we both agree on anything, what can I do with you? I can only hug you. I can smile on you. Or we can sit quietly. But if there is disagreement, then there is a talk. When you meet people, use this new technique of meeting people. Meet them first in silence. Let your silence come out and meet them. If they are not interested, it's up to them, but you respect them. You give them the best in you, which is that silence. Give your best. There is a saying, first impression is last impression. You give the best in you to them. Give that silence. Yes, if they don't want, then we can talk something else. But you stay in that silence and give them that silence. I will tell you, even a devil will turn godly if you give them silence. Because you are touching the core of that person also. He is also that silence. He might not be knowing, but he is exactly like you. You know it, he is ignorant. That's all. At one stage, we were also ignorant. Bhagavan was also ignorant. Before enlightenment, at the age of 15, he was ignorant just like any other kid. He was ignorant for 15 years, we are ignorant for 70 years. Not a big deal. But once we know, no difference. Ego can still grade. It will say Bhagwan is Bhagwan. Raj knows it, but now Raj is Raj, Bhagwan is Bhagwan. No, there is nothing like that. It is just ego can play like that. Because you start from that, you always respect teacher. Sometimes, we grow out more than the teacher. Teacher might be at whatever level academically. Sometimes we grow, we become more, but that doesn't mean anything. Our respect for the teacher is still the same. You become a professor, the primary school teacher is still you respect, you have regard. There is no gradation in it, just knowing the self, that's all. You look for that self, and then that self comes to you in so many forms, and so many people around you, beautiful people. Whenever we do satsang, whenever we do retreat, I meet the best people in the world. What that energy brings all those goodness together. It is so beautiful to see. Salana was other day telling a story about two Indian sadhus, very good friends. They said, we are going away for a couple of years and then we will come back and meet and we will tell each other how many we met, realized beings. So after 2 years they met and one answered none and the other said one. And I told Salana, that means we are more lucky than those two sadhus. Only thing which is needed from us to unfold that energy is remembering it all the time. And some people think that the job or the responsibilities of the body are an obstacle. And they think as long as these responsibilities are, we can't start on this path. This is completely wrong. Remembrance is attention here, and then all the work. Bhagavan used to say that let hands and legs do their work. You keep your attention here. If you are having a newly found love, to meet your lover, is it an effort? You try to find a simple excuse just to run and meet or, spend time together. And this lover is always with us, all the time. It's in our heart. None other than us only. It is just about recognition. If you recognize it, if you even recognize for fraction of a second, or if you believe on someone who is telling you it's there, and you have faith in those words, and you look there and you will find it. Everyone has found. I have not come across one single story that this person was looking and he couldn't find. Because no one is born without it. A person can be born with one eye or one arm or one leg. But everyone has the same energy, that pure self is equal in all of us. Without that, the body will not come into existence. It is in all of us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti.